Hi, my name is Peristu Imami, and I'm the host of The Road to Success for Your Highly Sensitive Child. This podcast is about empowering parents of highly sensitive children to nurture their child's unique personality trait and create a path to success. Our podcast provides guidance, insights, and support to help you unlock your child's full potential, fostering resilience, confidence, and a bright future. To book a private coaching session with me, please click on the link in my bio or go to www.pod.co/coach to parents of HSC, all one word. What is a highly sensitive child? Dr. Elaine Aron is a psychologist and leading researcher who coined the terms HSP and HSC. HSP describes an adult who has high sensitivity, and HSC describes a child who has high sensitivity. And she's been researching high sensitivity since 1991. By the way, the scientific term for high sensitivity is sensory processing sensitivity. I first learned that I'm a highly sensitive person when I attended Dr. Aron's workshop in San Francisco in March of 2019. Prior to attending this workshop in 2016, I had this amazing boss who has a highly sensitive child, and she recognized that I'm a highly sensitive person. And she suggested that I read this book called Quiet: The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. Although this book was very informative, it didn't quite capture the highly sensitive person accurately based on my own life experience. And after attending Dr. Aron's workshop, this was confirmed for me by Dr. Aron, who in my mind is the queen of high sensitivity. Everything I've learned about high sensitivity, I've learned from Dr. Aron, and of course, decades of reading self-help books, taking courses, and working on myself in order to heal myself from childhood wounds. So let's get into it. How do you know if your child is a highly sensitive child? Well, there's a test that you could take. Here are a few sample test questions to help you get an idea of the types of questions asked. Does your child startle easily? Does your child use big words for his or her age? Does your child cry easily? Is your child slow to warm up to new people and new experiences? Does your child notice the distress of others? If you would like to take the test to find out if your child is a highly sensitive child, please book a private coaching session with me by clicking on the link in my bio or go to www.pod.co/coach to parents of HSC, all one word. Dr. Aron defines high sensitivity as someone who has all four of the following aspects. The acronym that she uses is DOES. D stands for depth of processing. This is the ability to deeply analyze everything. Your child thinks before acting. Your child has a tendency to reflect. Your child asks deep questions. Your child uses big words for his or her age. Your child may have difficulty making decisions because he's coming up with so many possibilities. Your child may be slow to warm up to new people or new situations because he has to watch and think before joining in. O stands for being overstimulated. This is where your child quickly gets overwhelmed by the world around them. Because your child is more aware of what is going on outside and inside, and also processes it more thoroughly, he or she will wear out quicker mentally and physically. E stands for emotional responsiveness and empathy. Empathy is when your child feels what others feel. Your child feels everything deeply. They may cry easily. They may read your mind. They may be a perfectionist. They may react intensely to mistakes. One of my clients was telling me that her child reacts so intensely when she makes the tiniest mistakes. She will say, "Mommy, look how dumb I am. Look how many mistakes I've made." Even if she's only made one mistake and the mistake is very tiny, she reacts this way. And this reminds me of my own childhood. I remember I hated making mistakes and I would get so angry at myself for making a mistake. And I would feel like I'm so dumb for making these mistakes. And in reality, it was just part of learning. You can't just learn something right away. It takes time to learn, and you're making mistakes, and that's how you learn and grow. But in my mind, mistakes equated being dumb. And so I was extremely harsh on myself as a young person, but also as an adult. Even to this day, after all the work I've done on myself, I'm extremely hard on myself when I make a mistake, especially if I make a mistake at work. And I have to pause and reflect on what is going on inside me. And I have to choose that mistakes do not equal being dumb, and choose to give myself grace. And that's how I get through making mistakes as an adult. I have to just make sure that I pause, reflect on the mistake I've made, and then give myself grace, because I'm human and humans make mistakes. So you may have to teach your child at a very young age to give themselves a break and have grace for themselves. The other thing is being a perfectionist. Many HSPs are perfectionists, and this is just something that I've had to work with all my life, because in the beginning I thought, oh, being a perfectionist is amazing. It's the best thing, because you're just always striving to be your best. And that's great, but that's not the same as being a perfectionist, because striving to be at your best is positive for us. Being a perfectionist, it gives you a negative feeling, because when you're not perfect, as nobody is perfect, then you get hurt, and you are upset and you feel like you're a failure. Whereas when you're striving to be your best, it's a positive emotion that comes with that, because you're proud of yourself for just being you and doing the best that you can do in that moment, given the knowledge that you have at that time. So I highly encourage you to also teach your child not to be a perfectionist at a very young age. So hopefully when they become an adult, they have less of a perfectionist tendencies, if any. So let's go to S. S stands for sensitive to subtle stimuli. This is where your child will pick up on minute things, being aware of subtle sounds, smells, details, and etc. Your child may notice subtle changes with people or places, like if a piece of furniture has been moved or removed, or if they smell a funny odor that if you're not a highly sensitive person, you may not smell, but they definitely do. They also notice a tone of voice or a glance or a small sign of encouragement. This is why it's really important for you to encourage your highly sensitive child as much as possible and praise them as much as possible, even for little things. To be highly sensitive, according to Dr. Aron, you must have all four aspects of this personality trait. So it's all or none. Either you're highly sensitive or you're not. There's no in between. However, each highly sensitive child is unique. We will get into this in more detail in upcoming episodes. To book a private coaching session with me, please click on the link in my bio or go to www.pod.co/coach to parents of HSC, all one word. Here are some interesting statistics for you. It is estimated that approximately 20% of the global population are highly sensitive, although more recent studies are saying the number is closer to 30%. High sensitivity is equally distributed between men and women. About 70% of highly sensitive people are introverts. The remaining 30% are extroverts. In my family, all 5 of us are highly sensitive people, but only my dad and I are introverts. Interesting fact, my dog is an extrovert and she's a highly sensitive dog. Yes, animals can be highly sensitive too. If you're interested in an episode dedicated to my dog and her sensitivity and how I care for her, please send me feedback. And if there are enough interests in this topic, I will create an episode on sensitivity in animals. Highly sensitive children are in a position to gain more from good parenting than non-highly sensitive children. According to Dr. Thomas Boyce, highly sensitive children in stressful environments have more illnesses and injuries, but in relatively low-stress homes and schools, they have fewer illnesses and injuries. Highly sensitive people may be at a higher risk for certain psychological conditions, such as anxiety and depression. This is why it's important to parent your highly sensitive child in a way that honors their sensitivity, increases their self-confidence, and builds their resilience. Research has shown that it is primarily good parenting that determines whether high sensitivity is going to be an advantage for your highly sensitive child or a source of anxiety, depression, and worry. Before we close out this episode, I want to leave you with some food for thought. Number 1, the most important thing that you could do for your highly sensitive child is to educate yourself on this topic. The more you understand this personality trait, the better you can parent your child and the less frustrated you will be as a parent of a highly sensitive child. Number 2, accept this trait in your child and don't try to change them. When I was little, my mother would very often say to me, "Why can't you be like your brother? Why are you so shy?" I love my mom and I have a very good relationship with her, and in no way am I blaming her or putting her down for her parenting style. But the message she was giving me is that you are not good enough. You need to change. You are inadequate. This can lead to low self-esteem, low self-confidence, and self-love issues and feeling of inadequacy. Number 3, do not label your child as shy. Just because they like to observe and reflect before they engage does not make them shy. This is part of the highly sensitive personality trait, and it is not necessarily shyness. In my case, all my life I thought I was shy because my parents would say so over and over again. So I started to believe it until I learned that I'm a highly sensitive person. Now I know that I'm not shy, I'm just observant, and I like to make informed decisions. As we close this episode, I want to remind you that you have the power to create a bright and successful future for your highly sensitive child. Embrace their uniqueness, nurture their strengths, and provide them with the love and support they need. Together, we can pave a path to success that aligns with their sensitivity. Thank you for joining us today, and remember, you're not alone on this journey. We'll be here with more insights and inspiration in our next episode. Until then, keep believing in your child's potential because they truly are extraordinary. Stay tuned, stay inspired, and stay committed to setting your child up for success in life. To book a private coaching session with me, please click on the link in my bio or go to www.pod.co/coach to parents of HSC, all one word.